Okay, in this section, we're going to look at charts and graphs. And in this video, we're going to look at the pie chart. I think a pie chart is a pretty good place to start. I think everyone's sort of familiar with a pie chart. It's just a big circle. It's cut into slices that looks like a pie based on data. So we've got our same code basically that we've been working on up until now. I just got rid of all the stuff from the last few videos. But this time we're going to open up our company_salaries.xlsx file. If you remember, this is the little project we did earlier in the course. If you don't remember, if we come over here, we can open this guy. And we just had John, Mary, Steve, Tina, and Bob, and then some randomly created salaries for each of them. So in this video, we're going to make a pie chart out of that data. So the first thing we need to do is import the chart functionality from OpenPyExcel. So let's go from OpenPyExcel.chart. We want to import pie chart and also reference. And notice the P and the C are both capitalized in pie chart. So to create a pie chart, we just come down here and create a variable. Call it anything you want, but I'm going to call it chart because that's what it is, a chart, right? So, and then we want to create a pie chart instance. So charts are made up of usually labels and data. So we need to designate those. So let's create some variables. Let's call this one labels. And let's call this one data. And to do that, we need to make a reference to our labels and our data. So that's where we use this reference guy. So we can copy this and just paste it in. And where do we want to put this? We want to put it in our WS worksheet, our active worksheet, which is this guy right here. And now we need to designate the rows and columns for our labels. So let me just go through here and then we'll talk about this. So we want min col equals 1. We want min underscore row to equal 2. And we want max underscore row to equal 6. Now let's look at these guys. So the minimum column is the first column. And then we want rows 2 through 6. So if we look at our data, that's this column, column 1, but the data is 2 through 6. So that's just these names. That's not this names label at the top. We leave that out. For this one, we just want these labels. And these are the labels that go with the actual data in the future, right? So that's that. And we can do basically the same thing down here for our data. Just copy and paste this. But for this, we want column 2 because that's where our data is. And instead of starting at row 2, we want to start at row 1. And I'll show you why in just a second. So basically, looking at this again, that's all of this information. Now this is a little different because we're including this salaries label at the top. And I'll show you why in just a second. So, okay, now we need to sort of put all this stuff together. So let's go chart.add_data. And then we want to pass in that data variable that we just created, right? And we want to say titles underscore from underscore data equals true. This is what allows us to start with row 1 and include this salaries label, because telling our program to get the title from the data tells it to get it from that first row. It knows how to do that automatically. That's why we can do that. So, okay, that's our data. We also need to set the categories. So let's go chart.set_categories. And categories are our labels, right? So we would just pass in our labels that we defined up here. Okay, now we can set a title for our chart. So let's go chart.title. And let's set that equal to employee salaries. Okay, so now we just need to place the chart on the spreadsheet. And we do that by calling WS, our active worksheet, .add_chart. And then we just tell this thing, well, what do we want to add? Well, we want to add this chart, which is what we've been building out this whole time, right? This chart variable. So we want to add that. And now where do we want to put it? Let's put it in D2. And if we look at our spreadsheet here, that's right here. Now this is the top left corner of our chart will be in D2. And the whole chart itself will look something like this. It'll spread out across all these rows and columns. But the anchor will be the top left corner of D2 right here. So just keep in mind, just sort of remember top left, right? So, okay, finally we want to save this guy to company_salaries2 as opposed to, company_salary. We don't want to overwrite the original file. We want to create a new one, and that should work. So let's go ahead and save this. And let's come up here and Python format.py, run this guy, okay. Now we can head back over to our directory here, and there's our company_salaries2. So let's open this, and boom, we get this pie chart. Really nice looking chart. And it was just that easy. So if we kind of eyeball this, I could see it looks like this. And also if you click on it, you know, it sort of does its thing here. Everything highlights. Sort of interesting. But to me, the purple area looks like the biggest one. And that, according to this, is Tina. So if we come over here and look at Tina, yep, sure enough, it looks like she has the biggest salary. And then the next one, at least to my eye, is probably this light blue one, which is Bob. Yep, sure enough. And then this red one, Mary. Yep. And then finally, John and Steve. Yep, that looks about right. So just eyeballing this, the pie chart looks correct and just that easy. So that's how to do pie charts. In this video, I just wanted to give you a very quick overview of sort of an intro into graphs. In the future, we're going to look at pie charts in much greater detail because there's a lot of stuff you can do more than what we just looked at in this video. But that's a sort of broad level look at using charts. Now, there are a lot of other charts that you can use with OpenPy Excel. And in the next video, we're going to go over most of those very quickly. And then in videos after that, we'll look at each of those in greater detail. So that's coming up in the next video.